Good morning, everyone. I hope you guys are having a great Friday. Tomorrow or next week's spring break. Hope you get to do some type of fun activity. Today we're going to do chapter 4 of Where is the Amazon? So you need to have your chapter 4 packet ready. Let's see here. So chapter 4 is about more discoveries. There were many more European explorers after Orellana and Teixeira who hoped to find El Dorado. They made their way to South America and searched along the Amazon River and in the surrounding rainforest. But the mythical city remained just a tale. Even so, people kept coming to the region for other reasons. Spain and Portugal were Catholic countries. Their rulers hoped to bring Christianity to the native people in the New World. So the next accounts of the Amazon came from missionaries. Missionaries are people sent to bring their religion to other parts of the world. Many Catholic missionaries traveled on the Amazon's tributaries and deep into the rainforest. They did not always succeed in converting the native people, but they did map a large area of the Amazon. They also made detailed records of the plants and animals they found. These maps and records were useful to scientists who sailed to the Amazon years later. So here are some missionaries detailing records of the flower on the table. The first modern scientific exploration of the Amazon region began in 1799. Alexander von Humboldt was in charge. He was a German explorer and a naturalist. A naturalist is someone who studies plants and animals and how they live in nature. Humboldt is considered to be a founder of modern geography. From 1799 to 1804, Humboldt traveled about 6,000 miles through Central and South America. His friend Aimé Bonpland, who was a French doctor and botanist, traveled with him. Humboldt was amazed at how animals and not man ruled the area. He wrote in his journal, "Alligators and boas are masters of the river. The jaguar, the peccary, the tapir, and the monkeys traverse the forest without fear and without danger. We seek in vain traces of the power of man." Humboldt and Bonpland explored the Amazon rainforest and many of its tributaries on foot, on horseback, and by canoe. They often relied on native tribes to guide them through the thick rainforest and along the swift rivers. So here's Alexander, and there's them going down the river. They also stayed at settlements that the missionaries had built. The tribespeople showed the explorers where to hang sleeping hammocks so they could avoid getting wet during a rainstorm. They also showed them which plants to eat to help ward off sickness. But there was one thing that the native people couldn't help Humboldt with: bugs. One of his notes talks about the beauty of nature, but says, "To have enjoyed it fully, we should have breathed an air clear of insects." The two scientists discovered thousands of plants, animals, and minerals. They were especially fascinated by the birds they saw, including the brightly colored toucans and parrots. The two men also came upon an animal that produced electricity, the electric eel. After their journey on the rivers of the Amazon area, Humboldt and Bonpland made a trip to the Andes Mountains. There, they climbed Mount Chimborazo in modern Ecuador, which is 20,702 feet high. The explorers did not make it to the summit, but they climbed to the height of 19,286 feet. So here's them in their hammocks. And there's a toucan and the electric eel. That remained a world mountain climbing record for nearly 30 years, and Humboldt and Bonpland made their climb without the help of modern mountaineering equipment, such as ropes, crampons, and oxygen tanks. Humboldt and Bonpland's amazing journey astounded people, including Thomas Jefferson, who was President of the United States. In 1804, the explorers were invited to be guests of the President. They arrived in Washington, D.C. just after Jefferson had sent Lewis and Clark to explore the western United States. Humboldt and Jefferson, who was also a scientist, became good friends. Humboldt and Bonpland's journey changed how people viewed the world. They showed how much more wildlife there was to discover on the planet. The description of their journey was written up and published in a set of books. What they saw and recorded captured the interest of other scientists and adventurers. Many more expeditions took place after Humboldt and Bonpland published their notes. Johann Baptist von Spix and Carl Friedrich Philipp von Martius were also German naturalists. They led a group to the Amazon from 1817 to 1820. They were often ill during their journey and almost died of thirst, but they went up to the Amazon River and through its rainforest as far as modern-day Peru. Like Humboldt and Bonpland, Spix and Martius made many discoveries about plants and animals. They wanted to bring back as many specimens as possible. They located a boat with an amazing collection of 6,500 species of plants, 85 species of mammals, 350 species of birds, 116 species of fish, and nearly 2,700 species of insects. One of the specimens that Spix brought back to Europe was a strange-looking freshwater turtle called the mata-mata. It has a flat, triangle-shaped head with a horn on its long snout. And one of the bird species Spix collected now bears the name the Spix macaw. It is a small parrot with a bright blue feathers. So here's the turtle that they brought back and the bird. In 1848, two English scientists, Henry Walter Bates and Alfred Russel Wallace, traveled to the Amazon. Bates was only 23 at the time, and Wallace was 25. The two had met on bug hunting walks in the English countryside, and they wanted to find new species of insects in the Amazon. Alfred Russel Wallace studied and explored the area for 4 years. On the journey back to England, the ship that he was on caught fire. Wallace escaped, but all his bug collections were destroyed. So there's the two scientists, and there's their ship on fire. Henry Walter Bates stayed in the Amazon for 11 years. He loved birds and had a pet toucan. Bates also loved butterflies, and he had 550 new species of them in his collection. Another one of his achievements was confirming that really big spiders will kill and eat little bugs. So here's a tarantula that he discovered. When he returned to England in 1859, he brought back more than 14,712 specimens. Most of these were insects. Bates had heard what had happened to Wallace on the journey back to England. So Bates sent his specimens on 3 separate ships. When he got back to England, Bates spent the next 3 years writing about the trip. The report was called The Naturalist on the River Amazons. It is thought to be one of the best reports ever written on natural history travel. Charles Darwin called it the best book of natural history travels ever published in England. Darwin and other scientists realized that the information gathered from these specimens helped explain how life on the planet developed and changed. So, Chapter 4, Key Details. The missionaries came to the New World in hopes to spread their religion. They also made records of plants and animals that were useful for scientists. Alexander von Humboldt, he was an explorer and naturalist. Their journey impressed Thomas Jefferson. Henry Walter Bates and Alfred Russel Wallace researched insects. So there's our notes for today. I hope you guys have a great day. If you have any questions for your summaries, feel free to ask. Next week there won't be anything. Enjoy your spring break as best you can. Hope you guys have a great day. Bye.